part 1 is going to address acting as a sustainable entrepreneur, which I did through participating in the Entrepreneurship Festival that we held this morning. So at first, we had to develop a model and prototype that really began with defining our problem and then fitting that into a lean canvas to best serve the people that it affected. So we focused on plastic pollution in Zanzibar, and it really helped us to have the lean canvas mentoring session to start defining what it was going to actually be. And the model was about breaking the steps into the most logical order and then putting that in terms anyone can understand. So the prototype went through quite a few stages. We decided that we didn't want to do an actual physical prototype. We were making flip-flops, and we felt like we really wanted to emphasize the recycling and reusable aspect of our flip-flops. It was more about the process to the end product than the end product itself. So we had several designs made by team members, and we overlooked through them, and we finally decided that we'd do the drawing with flip-flops in the island of Zanzibar, identifying the different areas of the most plastic pollution, and then that was our prototype. So before the festival, we met twice to finalize things, and we divided the work based on everyone's skills. Like the more artistic ones were our drawers, the most comfortable speakers, he did our pitch, I helped with the notes. We had a PowerPoint design person who was a little bit better at having that eye for the design. So then we reviewed the pitch, we all got on board with it, and from there we just went ahead and we're ready for the festival. So during the festival, we listened to all of the ideas, and it was really cool to hear about the other innovations that had been studied by our course mates. And then it was a little confusing about the customer list, but we just kind of treated everyone that heard our pitch as a customer, and just let them sign the list if they were interested. But yeah, we didn't really understand that part, I think, maybe, but it worked out that we just kind of made hypothetical future customers from the people attending the festival. Throughout the festival, I developed the skills of perseverance, combining perspectives, and tolerance to differences, as well as sales pitch. I think that when you're combining perspectives, maybe there's no way to truly all the way combine them, but if you persevere through that, the trouble of disconnect and communication between perspectives, you can end up coming up with better solutions than if just one or two people who are very like-minded come up with a solution. And that kind of builds on the idea for tolerance to differences, like having that patience to understand people are coming from different places and different backgrounds and sustainability and just their even socioeconomic differences or differences in how you were raised or believed like the world works, and just all of that coming together was something I really got to experience in this project. We were from 4 different nationalities for our project, which means we all had totally different backgrounds on education and things, but all coming together really helped us find the best solution in the end. Sales pitch was also a skill I got to develop because although I didn't give the pitch seen by the judges, I did attend the perfect pitch session and got to practice my ability to take an idea, relate a problem to a group of people, and help them win over to my solution and believe in it. So initially I felt frustrated with the pace of our group work and ideation, so I think if I had to do it all again, I would try to find a way to front load it a little more and get that creation and synergy just going right off the bat if we could. And in the end, it didn't seem like we found a particularly innovative solution, since a lot of it was based on a recycling company that we found out had already been established on Zanzibar, and we were just kind of bringing one new product, whereas they were doing the whole process, which is initially what we wanted to emphasize, but by the time we realized that our idea was kind of not as viable, not as innovative as we had hoped, it was time to prepare for the festival, and we really didn't have time to super change anything or reevaluate. We stuck with what we had. We decided on collaboration with the company, and that's what we ended up presenting. So If asked in an interview what my sustainability skills are, I would tell them about this course. I feel it better prepared me to understand mindfulness and deciding what materials to use, like in the CES EduPack that we learned, and also like understanding that my core beliefs about entrepreneurship is that true entrepreneurship and sustainability is about considering social and environmental impacts above or equally to economic ones. So the very first article we read over the planetary boundaries gave me that initial framework to start understanding something new and understanding like the theory behind it. Like everyone can just say, yeah, keeping the world cleaner is better and sustainability is good, but to understand that there's a theory and a framework to actually make that change happen was really important in my education about sustainability. Which brings us to part 2, sustainability. So according to the article by Stephen Chen, social ventures are a company working with social purposes and goals to help the community or underprivileged. And experts have a hard time defining social entrepreneurship and categorizing it. There's a lot of different ways to look at it, but the most important questions they come up with are what makes it social and what makes it entrepreneurship. So by dividing the concept into the 2 parts, it helped me really start understanding that innovation has to serve someone who really needs it. And how innovative is it really to serve someone who is already living a comfortable life and in the Western world? And it's not real entrepreneurship and innovation to just find a solution, but to find a sustainable one is really what the goal should be. And that's socially and environmentally. And so that's what social innovation is. It's one of the most important ways for people to live better lives. And yeah. A sustainable venture is a company that is built upon principles of sustainable social and ecological development. And I think that it's time for the age of businesses only economically focused to come to an end. It's no longer feasible for a company to be motivated only by money. You have to consider the impact on the world, and you have to use your expertise in entrepreneurship for the good. So finally, the third part, environmental leadership. I kind of learned there's always going to be another question to answer. I learned even the best ideas can fail if the infrastructure and public acceptance for them are not in place yet. As a sustainable entrepreneur, using the resources you have in a way that does not deplete them for future generations is the key. So changes in society usually build off already established institutions. People in more developed countries have more resources, which makes them financially but not necessarily more mentally capable. My environmental leadership style is the achiever. This didn't change from the beginning, but I kind of grew to understand it a little better. There's my video.